They're at their posts. Stepan has just lit his cigarette. When is the Grand Duke expected to drive by? Any moment now. Listen, isn't that a carriage? No, don't fidget like that. Do sit down. What about the bombs? Do sit down. There's nothing more we can do. Yes, there is. We can envy them. Your place is here. You are the leader. I'm the leader, yes, but Yannick's a better man than I, and perhaps he's the one who. Ah, the risk's the same for all. For the man who throws and for the man who doesn't throw. In the long run, yes, the risk's the same. But at this moment, Yannick and Alexis are in the firing line. Oh, I know I haven't the right to be with them. Still, I can't help fearing sometimes that I'm a little too ready to play my part. After all, it makes things easier not having to throw the bomb oneself. What if it does? The only thing that matters is for you to do your duty to the end. How calm you are, Dora. I am not calm. I'm frightened. Let me tell you something. I've been with the group for 3 years, haven't I? And for 2 years, I've been making the bombs. I've done all I want, all I was told to do. And I don't think I ever let you down. That's so, isn't it? Of course it is, Dora. Well, all those 3 years I have been afraid. I have been haunted by that creeping fear that leaves you only when you go to sleep and are lucky enough not to dream. But when you wake up, there it is, waiting at your bedside. So the only thing was to get used to it. I've trained myself to keep calm just when I'm most afraid, but it's nothing to be proud of. On the contrary, you should feel proud. Look at me. I've never mastered anything. Do you know I often catch myself regretting the bad old days, a gay life, a pretty women, and all the rest of it? Yes, I was fond of women, wine, dancing through the night. I'd guessed as much for you, and that's why I'm so proud of you. Your heart is not dried up, even if it's still hankering after pleasure. Surely that's better than the hideous silence that often settles in at the very place where voices used to rise, authentically human voices. Dora, I can't believe my ears. You of all people feel like that? Shh, listen. No, it's not he yet, not yet. My heart's thumping. You see, I've still a lot to learn. Ah, Stepan's made a sign. He's coming in a few seconds. How long it seems. What can have happened? Yannick should have thrown his bomb by now. The carriage must have reached the theater. And what about Alexis? Look, Stepan's turned, and now he's running toward the theater. Yannick's been arrested. I'm sure it's that. Oh, Bori, we must do something. We wait. No, nothing. That settles it. I don't understand. How can Yannick have been arrested when he hasn't done anything? Oh, I know he was quite ready for it. In fact, prison, the trial were what he wanted. But after he'd killed the Grand Duke, not like this. Not like this. Here's Voynov. Open quick. What's happened, Alexis? I've no idea. I was waiting for the first bomb, then I saw the carriage rounding the corner and nothing's happened. I was completely baffled. I thought a bit, then I concluded you had called it off at the last minute, so I ran back here. What about Yannick? I haven't seen him. He's been arrested. No, there he is. He's coming back. Brothers, forgive me. I couldn't bring myself. That's all right. Don't worry. What happened? Don't take it so hard, Yannick. Sometimes it's like that. You know, at the last minute, everything goes wrong. No, I can't believe my ears. Let him be. You're not the only one, Yannick. Schweitzer, too, couldn't bring it off the first time. Yannick, were you afraid? Afraid? Certainly not. And you haven't the right. Well, there were children in the Grand Duke's carriage. Children? Yes, the Grand Duke's niece and nephew. but Orlov told us the Grand Duke would be by himself. There was the Grand Duchess as well. Too many people, I suppose, for our young poet. Luckily, the police spies didn't notice anything. I'd never dreamed of anything like that. Children especially. Have you ever noticed children's eyes, that grave, intent look they often have? Somehow, I never can face it. I have to look away and to think only a moment before I was so gloriously happy standing at the corner of that little side street in a patch of shadow. The moment I saw the carriage lamps twinkling in the distance, my heart began to race. With joy, I can assure you. And as the rumble of wheels came nearer, it beat faster and faster, thumping inside me like a drum. I wanted to leap into the air. I'm almost sure that I was laughing for joy, and I kept on saying, yes, yes. Do you understand? I ran forward. It was then I saw the children. They weren't laughing, not they, just staring into the emptiness and holding themselves very straight. How sad they looked, dressed up in their best clothes, with their hands resting on their thighs like two little statues framed in the windows on each side of the door. I didn't see the Grand Duchess. I saw only them. If they had turned my way, I think I might have thrown the bomb, if only to extinguish that sad look of theirs. But they kept staring straight ahead. I can't explain what happened to me then. My arms went limp, my legs seemed to be giving way beneath me, and a moment afterwards, it was too late. Dora, did I dream it? Or was there a peal of bells just then? No, Yannick, you did not dream it. Yes, look at me, brothers, look at me. But I'm no coward, Boria. I did not flinch. Only I wasn't expecting them, and everything went with such a rush. Those two serious little faces, and in my hand that hideous weight. I'd have had to throw it at them like that, straight at them. No, I just couldn't bring myself. In the old days when I used to go out driving on our estate in the Ukraine, I always drove hell for leather. I wasn't afraid of anything, except of running down a child. That was my one fear. I pictured a sort of brittle thud as the small head hit the roadway, and the mere thought of it made me shudder. Help me. I meant to kill myself just now. I came back only because I thought I owed it to you. You were the only people who could judge me and could say if I was wrong or right, and I'd abide by your decision. But here I am, and you don't say anything. This is what I propose. If you decide that those children must be killed, I will go to the theater and wait till they are coming out. Then I shall handle the situation by myself, unaided. I shall throw the bomb, and I can promise not to miss. So make your decision. I'll do whatever the group decides. Well, the group had given you orders to kill the Grand Duke. That's so, but I wasn't asked to murder children. Yannick's right, that wasn't on the program. It was his duty to obey. I was in charge of operations and I'm to blame. Every possibility should have been foreseen so that no one could feel the least hesitation about what to do. Well, now we have to settle whether we let this chance go by or tell Yannick to wait outside the theater for them to come out. You, Alexis, what do you advise? I don't know what to say. I suspect I'd have done as Yannick did, but I'm not sure of myself. My hands, I can't trust them not to tremble. And you, Dora? I'd have behaved like Yannick, so how can I ask of others what I couldn't bring myself to do? I wonder if you people realize what this decision means. 2 solid months of shadowing, of hair-breadth escapes, 2 wasted months. Igor arrested to no purpose. Rykov hanged to no purpose. Must we start that all over again? Weeks and weeks of harrowing suspense without a break, of sleepless nights, of plotting and scheming before another opportunity like this comes our way. Have you all gone crazy? In 2 days' time, as you know quite well, the Grand Duke will be going to the theater again. 2 days, during which we run the risk of being caught at any moment. Why, you've said so yourself. I'm off. No, wait. You, Stepan. Could you fire point blank on a child with your eyes open? I could if the group ordered it. Why did you shut your eyes then? What? Did I shut my eyes? Yes. Then it must have been because I wanted to picture what you described more vividly and to make sure my answer was the true one. Open your eyes, Stepan, and try to realize that the group would lose all its driving force were it to tolerate, even for a moment, the idea of children's being blown to pieces by our bombs. Sorry, but I don't suffer from a tender heart. That sort of nonsense cuts no ice with me, not until the day comes when we stop sentimentalizing about children. Will the revolution triumph and we be masters of the world? When that day comes, the revolution will be loathed by the whole human race. What matter? If we love it enough to force a revolution on it, to rescue humanity from itself and from its bondage. And suppose mankind at large doesn't want the revolution. Suppose the masses for whom you are fighting won't stand for the killing of their children. What then? Would you strike at the masses too? Yes, if it were necessary, and I would go on striking at them until they understood. No, don't misunderstand me. I too love the people. Love, you call it. That's not how love shows itself. Who says so? I say it. You're a woman, and your idea of love is, well, let's say unsound. Anyhow, I have a very sound idea of what shame means. Once, and once only, in my life, I felt ashamed of myself. It was when I was flogged. Yes, I was flogged. The knout. You know what that is, don't you? Vera was there beside me, and she killed herself as a protest. But I went on living, so why should I be ashamed of anything now? Stephen, all of us love you and respect you. For whatever private reasons you may have for feeling as you do, I can't allow you to say that everything's permissible. Thousands of our brothers have died to make it known that everything is not allowed. Nothing that can serve our cause should be ruled out. Is it permissible for one of us to join the police and play a double game as Edvno proposed to do? Would you do it? Yes, if I felt it necessary. Stepan, we will forget what you've just said for the sake of all that you have done for us and with us. Now let's keep it to the matter in hand. The question is whether, presently, we are to throw bombs at those two children. Children! There you go. Always talking about children. Can you not realize what is at stake? Just because Yannick couldn't bring himself to kill those two, thousands of Russian children will go on dying of starvation for years to come. Have you ever seen children dying of starvation? I have. And to be killed by a bomb is a pleasant death compared with that. But Yannick never saw children starving to death. He saw only the Grand Duke's pair of darling little lapdogs. Aren't you sentient human beings, or are you living like animals for the moment only? In that case, by all means, indulge in charity and cure each petty suffering that meets your eye, but don't meddle with the revolution, for its task is to cure all sufferings present and to come. Yannick's ready to kill the Grand Duke because his death may help to bring nearer the time when Russian children will no longer die of hunger. That in itself is none too easy for him, but the death of the Grand Duke's niece and nephew won't prevent any child from dying of hunger. Even in destruction, there's a right way and a wrong way, and there are limits. There are no limits. The truth is that you don't believe in the revolution, any of you. No, you don't believe in it. If you did believe in it sincerely with all your hearts, if you felt sure that by dint of our struggles and sacrifices, some day we shall build up a new Russia, redeemed from despotism, a land of freedom that will gradually spread out over the whole earth. And if you felt convinced that then and only then, freed from his masters and his superstitions, man will at last look up toward the sky, a God in his own right. How, I ask you, could the deaths of two children be weighed in the balance against such a fate? Surely you could claim for yourselves the right to do anything and everything that might bring that great day nearer. So now, if you draw the line at killing these two children, well, it simply means you are not sure you have that right. So I repeat, you do not believe in the revolution. Stepan, I am ashamed of myself. Yet I cannot let you continue. I am ready to shed blood so as to overthrow the present despotism. But behind your words, I see the threat of another despotism, which, if ever it comes into power, will make of me a murderer. And what I want to be is a doer of justice, not a man of blood. Provided justice is done, even if it's done by assassins, what does it matter which you are? You and I are negligible quantities. We are not. And you know it as well as anyone. In fact, it's pride, just pride, that makes you talk as you are doing now. My pride is my concern alone, but men's pride, their rebellion, the injustice that is done them, these are the concern of all of us. Men do not live by justice alone. Oh, when their bread is stolen, what else have they to live by? By justice, and don't forget by innocence. Innocence. Yes, maybe I know what that means, but I prefer to shut my eyes to it and shut others' eyes to it for the time being, so that one day it may have a worldwide meaning. Well, you must feel very sure that day is coming if you repudiate everything that makes life worth living today on its account. I am certain that that day is coming. No, you can't be sure as that. Before, before it can be known which of us, you or I, is right. Perhaps 3 generations will have to be sacrificed. There will have been bloody wars and no less bloody revolutions, and by the time that all this blood has dried off the earth, you and I will long since have turned to dust. Then others will come, and I hail them as my brothers. Others, you say. Quite likely you are right. But those I love are the men who are alive today and walk this same earth. It's they whom I hail. It is for them I am fighting. For them I am ready to lay down my life. But I shall not strike my brothers in the face for the sake of some far-off city which, for all I know, may not exist. I refuse to add to the living injustice all around me for the sake of a dead justice. Brothers, I want to speak to you quite frankly and to tell you something that even the simplest peasant in our backwoods would say if you asked him his opinion. Killing children is a crime against a man's honor. And if one day the revolution thinks fit to break with honor, well, I'm through with the revolution. If you decide that I must do it, well and good. I will go to the theater when they're due to come out, but I'll fling myself under the horse's feet. Honor is a luxury reserved for people who have carriages and pairs. No, it's the one wealth left to a poor man. You know it. And you also know that the revolution has its code of honor. It's what we all are ready to die for. It's what made you hold your head up, Stepan, when they flogged you, and it's behind what you have been saying to us today. Keep quiet. I forbid you to speak of that. Why must I keep quiet? I took it lying down when you said I didn't believe in the revolution, which was as good as telling me that I was ready to kill the Grand Duke for nothing. that I was a common murderer. I let you say that, and somehow I kept my hands off you. Yannick, it's killing for nothing, sometimes not to kill enough. Stepan, Stepan, none of us here agrees with you, and we have made our decision. Then I bow to it. Only let me tell you once again that squeamishness is out of place in work like ours. We're murderers, and we have chosen to be murderers. That's a lie. I have chosen death so as to prevent murder from triumphing in the world. I've chosen to be innocent. Yannick, Stepan, that's enough of it. The group has decided that the slaughter of these children would serve no purpose. We must start again from the beginning and be ready for another try at it in 2 days' time. And supposing the children are there again, then we shall await another opportunity. And supposing the Grand Duchess is with the Duke, her I shall not spare. Listen. Well, Dora, that settles it. We'll have to make another try. Yes, Alexis, another try. But of course, we must do something for our precious honor.